F.L.Y at Phantasialand is going to be the new for 2020 coaster, or at least I hope it's going to be the new for 2020 coaster because the park hasn't officially stated that the ride is opening this year, and is the next generation flying coaster and is going to give the B&M flying coaster a run for its money. So what we know about F.L.Y is not much. All we know about F.L.Y, it's going to be in this new section of the park called Rookburgh. It's going to be the steampunk old-fashioned 1800s kind of feel area of the park. A completely different theme from something like Talocan or Africa at the park, and with F.L.Y or F.L.Y at Rookburgh being the center attraction of the new area. So this flying coaster is probably going to be the new generation flying coaster that we see in the world. Currently, there aren't that many flying coaster models that exist from other manufacturers. So the main ones we see are the B&M flying coasters, which are considered the best. We have the Zamperla flying coasters, which aren't really looked upon as good rides, such as Time Warp Mechanic's Wonderland. And then we had Vekoma's old flying coasters, the Flying Dutchman, which only 3 were made. They weren't considered that good, and Vekoma didn't sell off many of these flying coasters. And with Phantasialand building this new generation flying coaster under Vekoma's new image, this is going to be a ride that's going to be worth remembering. So looking at what this ride is going to do, we don't have much. We just know a few things about F.L.Y. So we know this is going to be a launch coaster. So F.L.Y stands for Flying Launch Coaster. So the ride is going to have a few launches on the ride, which makes sense because Phantasialand, they can't build rides tall, so they have to build around the area and somehow get to higher speeds without going up a chain lift. So this makes sense that it's a launch coaster. And something else about the ride that you may probably already know about is how the seats, they rotate during the ride and aren't like put up in the station like we see with these other flying coasters. So like on the ride, you'll probably be set up in a row of people, kind of like Forbidden Journey at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, where you're lined up in a row, and then the seats, they're going to rotate to the flying position and then maneuver the course. To me, this seems like a combination of like X2 and the Axis coaster. How the rotating, it's controlled, but it's on the Axis version of the rotation and not like the 4D coasters. So that's something really cool, how they're gonna maneuver people into the flying position on the ride. So the new flying coaster, is it gonna be something that can replace the old flying coasters that were manufactured by other people? I mean, maybe, like manufacturers like B&M, we haven't really seen a flying coaster made by them in a while. Like the last one they sold, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it was Flying Dinosaur at Universal Japan. So B&M, they haven't really made many flying coasters, so this coaster is going to be something fresh on the market and something that Vekoma seems it can adapt with many different styles. So we know that this ride can be used as a launch because this new prototype has the launch on it, and I'm pretty sure they can use a chain lift for it. So this flying coaster, it seems like they have very few limitations for it, compared to something like B&M where all the flying coasters are kind of generic. So that's something good about F.L.Y, how it could probably be adapted to many other versions of this model. So how F.L.Y is, how it's going to be weaving through Rookburgh, this new section of the park, it's going to be pretty astounding, like many rides at Phantasialand. How like Black Mamba goes through the African village, or like Taron through Talocan. So presentation for this ride is already going to be stellar, which is going to be pretty good when parks start to want to buy the Vekoma flying coaster, because this ride is a prototype. So this is kind of the final product of the prototype, so this is kind of going to determine if parks are going to want to start buying these, because this is a finished product, so parks are going to look at this ride to make sure they want to actually put one of these in their parks. And I can't think of any other park to get one but Phantasialand, because they have awesome presentation with the ride, so this will hopefully be a way to encourage people to buy these Vekoma flying coasters. And I'm pretty sure these rides are going to be cheap than the other flying coasters on the market. Vekoma has been more of a cheaper company as a way to adapt to many other parks. And B&M, they're a very expensive company and parks aren't that willing to buy them. So the Vekoma flying coaster may be a great ride that many parks will want to start adapting. And it all depends on how F.L.Y does, hopefully this year. This will help determine this kind of ride's future in the market, for other parks to buy. So to sum up F.L.Y, this is going to be a pretty unique experience for the people who are lucky enough to ride this. Because Vekoma, they seem to be building a lot of unique rides lately that we haven't seen before. Bravo to Vekoma and Sensei who monitors Vekoma. So F.L.Y is going to be a pretty good ride with this whole rotating seat element. that's way different than the B&M flying coaster, so this is going to help increase capacity for this ride. The restraints for it, I'm not sure how they're going to be. I mean, anyone who's ridden one of these new Vekoma coasters could probably tell me what they feel like. And we don't really have a full layout of F.L.Y in the first place. We just know that it's going to be a launch coaster and the seat orientation of how they're going to get you to the flying position. Plus the fact how this is going to be the largest flying coaster in the world, because according to RCDB, this is going to be longer than Flying Dinosaurs, so it is going to be the longest flying coaster in the world. Flying Dinosaur only has a length of 3,687 feet, so this will be longer. And it's going to be impressive how this is going to wind around Rookburgh, because the land isn't going to be that big, considering that most of Phantasialand isn't that many acres. I think it's like 50 to 60 acres in total size. So F.L.Y is just going to prove how there aren't that many limitations to roller coasters, and how Vekoma can prove how they can deliver an outstanding roller coaster despite their history of having sucky rides. Vekoma's launch coaster, Vekoma's flying coaster, they're all remarkable models, and this is just going to add to their collection of rides they can build. So leave in the comments below on if you're going to ride F.L.Y, hopefully this year in 2020, and do you think this is going to be the best flying coaster in the world? So remember, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and remember to tune in for more Great American Coasters, and I'll see you guys next time in the future. I'll see you guys later.